Hi, book nerds. I'm the author of The Periwinkle Turban and Giggleswick, two books which have come out in the last year and have both been reviewed by Jean's BookNerd blog. The second book in the Giggleswick trilogy comes out this May. I've been asked today three different questions about myself and my writing, which I will answer for you now. The first one being a defining moment during my youth when I realized I wanted to be a writer. And I think when this question was asked, it's probably assumed that this must have been when I was a child reading children's books, because I write children's books. But actually, it didn't wasn't a huge reader when I was a child, and it wasn't until I was in my teens that I fell in love with reading, and I kind of skipped over the whole children's book stage at the time and went straight to adult murder mystery novels. And I decided I wanted to write my own murder mystery book. I had been reading like Mary Higgins Clark and James Patterson, and I had decided I wanted to write my own murder mystery. So I wrote two actually and finished them, but quickly realized that I had no natural talent for it, and they were both really bad. So they ended up in a drawer, and that's exactly where they're going to stay. But I think the element that I took away from that time was a whodunit aspect and mystery and suspense, which I have tried to weave through Giggleswick and the Turban book. And in Giggleswick in particular has a definite whodunit ability throughout, whodunit aspect throughout the trilogy. So despite ultimately finding the children's literature was my true niche, I did take that away from my time experimenting with adult fiction. The second question is, what fiction most influenced your childhood and what effect did those stories have on the Periwinkle Turban? And as I said, I didn't do much reading when I was a child, which is unfortunate. It wasn't until I was an adult that I fell in love with children's books. So the true answer probably would actually be two movies that I saw when I was younger, and I have since read the books and very much enjoyed them. But I was very fond of both Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang because of their element of magic that happened in everyday life. The umbrella in Mary Poppins and jumping through the street painting and the flying car and floating on water in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Those elements of magic happening to everyday people was very fascinating to me and always has been. And I think that's the element that has played into the Periwinkle Turban, where this turban, a family heirloom, grants the children talents that they didn't know they didn't realize until after they'd had the turban on for a while that they were suddenly able to do things they hadn't been able to do before. So I think that I would have to name Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as my two greatest influences from childhood. The third question is the best piece of advice I can give to writers to help develop their own unique style and voice. And so my answer to this is just to read what interests you, read authors who have a strong voice and a strong character to their writing, and then experiment. Experiment, write every day until you develop your own natural voice. It'll happen naturally once you begin to write and to experiment because it's coming from within you, so it'll have your own natural spin and twist to things. So that's my best advice, and in the meantime, maybe try either the Periwinkle Turban or Giggleswick. Thanks! Keep reading!